When I test drove this Jeep, I asked the owner about some grumbling noise that I heard in the rear. He had no clue what I was talking about. We're at the right rear tire. Yeah, so it's got up and down play, in and out. That's pretty rough. But almost 230,000 miles. I expect that kind of stuff. Alright, on my 87 Jeep, I have the Dana 35 rear axle, and this one is the non-C-clip type. So you stick your wrench through here to access 4 nuts that are on studs. They're 14 millimeter, and you can use a pry bar against this post here. Won't hurt anything. Pop this out. Let's see what we got here. Expecting the bearings to be pretty shot. You know, I was expecting them to actually look worse. Kind of hard to see without cleaning them up. They definitely sound rough. What I'm after now is the bearing race. I've had pretty good luck. Both sides just popped right out. This YouTube rat I got to show you. So yeah, there's some evidence of scoring. Not as bad as I was thinking, but there's some there that's pretty bad. Yep. I'm starting to get some pitting in there, so yeah, it's a good call. That's where the noise is coming from. Yep, raining again in Tennessee, so sorry for the noise, but going after this inner seal, it's a pain in the butt. The other one was not easy to get out. Using a slide hammer with this attachment on it here. It's got a lip on it where you can grab the back side of that seal. Pinch your fingers back here. You're going to tear it up, so once it starts banging on it, you're done. You got to get a new one. Ah, finally. Boy, you got to beat that thing to death, so there's no using that for sure. Here is the part number. This is Napa. They use SKF. Fairly recent change, I've been told. This is for the inner seal. Part number for the outer seal. Part number, and again, Napa's part number for the bearing set. I was trying to get the original Timken bearings, but they said they don't offer that unless you get into the heavier duty stuff. So it is what it is. It's what you. The bearing race is included on this bearing. It seems to come sealed already, or as one unit, whereas the other one came apart. So when you install this, make sure the back side of the race goes in first. It's hopefully you can service these bearings and get them out and re-lube them if you needed to without taking the race itself out. But anyway, once the inner seal goes in, we'll have to press this in and we'll be good to go. Once the inner seal, of course you need to clean up any galling or dirt or anything in there, because this is going to get pressed in. Now they do make a special installer, but I was able to find in my inventory this large socket, and it fits the seal without interfering with the axle itself. So we'll be tapping that in. Had to drive almost an hour to go get these, and they only had 2 left, so I don't want to ruin it. Go until it bottoms out. You'll feel it. Yeah, that's it. Now we got to wait for the special tool to show up so we can get the old bearings off the shaft. Another option to take the bearings off the axle, of course, would be to take it to your local shop. They might charge you 20 bucks or something. But for me, I'd rather spend the money on the tool. Okay, we're in a separate area in the shop where I store my press, and this doesn't allow for the hub to go through there. I've tried different things, even going through the bottom with boards and different things. But anyway, the point is, I can't figure out a way to take the bearing and the collar off, but we can use this to reinstall the new set. So since I can't get the bearing off with my press, I of course went on YouTube like anybody does and found a way to take this off at Bleepin' Jeep channel. Everything Jeeps and none of the boring stuff. That's how he says it. Good channel. So anyway, he just cuts them off with a cutting wheel. Obviously you don't want to hit the surface here. I was hoping to catch the little pop on camera, but what you do is you dig down with your cutoff wheel, taking care not to hit the machine surface, and you might be able to see it, but there's a crack in there. You can hear this pop because this is really pressed on hard, so there's a lot of pressure on there. And that's that. Hey, bearing's been cut. Actually, it's going to come off pretty easily here. Same thing, chisel, spread it open. Now this looks kind of brutal. I'm digging against the surface that's going to be cut away anyway, so no worries there. Got to spread this off here. Let it fall in the trash can. Alright, next thing we got to cut. Actually, get that out of the way. In fact, let me get both of these off. Take this off as well. Don't forget to put that back on first. Now, down to the bearing race itself. Cut this. This is kind of the tricky one because you're on the machine surface underneath, so this is where you got to take the most care. That's about as deep as I want to go for now. And we're hoping we hear it split. Yep, cracked it. So now we've relieved the pressure. We can take this off. Alright, now that that's loose, we can go to the press. All done with that. This bearing doesn't take as much pressure, but when you get to that collar, it takes a lot of pressure, so got to have, you know, stable setup. All right, I'm sitting down at eye level so I can watch this bearing. You go until it's up against the machine part. And what you're watching for is, it's kind of hard to see, but this bearing will go up against that other machine part there. And that's it. This goes on pretty hard, but you'll feel it when it hits the bearing race. The race carries that load, and this, of course, carries the load of the axle. Okay, the receiving part where the axle goes is all lubed up clean. The inner seal is installed. Would have been better if I had packed the bearing before putting it on. It does come with some grease, however I don't think enough, but I can get to the back side here and pack it this way. So I'm going to pack this as much as I can, make sure we're not putting in dry bearings because we'll be doing this all over again. Get the splines lined up. Oh, I got lucky on that one. Okay. That was easier than I thought. So back, it's a good one. Get this lined up again. Put our retainer plate on. You guys see anything going on in there? 4 nuts, torque specs. I'll put on the screen for you. So they're nice and clean, ready to go back on. If I get my lighting weight on it. We had up and down play, in and out, and we don't have any of that now. And other than the brakes rubbing there, it feels good. So, satisfied with that job. We'll get this adjusted and get the wheels back on. Appreciate you all coming around, hanging out for the rear axle bearing replacement while you were gone. I serviced the differentials, got new shocks on it, just came back from a test drive. is driving much nicer now. That flex plate noise is gone. Bearing noise is gone. It's starting to shape up. Well, she's ready to put on the road. I still have some work to do, of course, but I'm going to call the insurance company, get it insured, get it tagged, and start enjoying this thing. See you in the next video.